we live? We gonna check. Oh, we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Be there, be there, be there. That's not how that goes at all. Today, we're gonna talk about POTS and anxiety because it's something that I think is super important. I think that for people with POTS, it's important to hear this from somebody who has POTS or has recovered from POTS, because you don't want to hear it from a doctor, and doctors are generally assholes about it. So we're going to talk about it from the viewpoint of somebody who has had POTS previously, and what I think about it, right? So a lot of people who have been diagnosed with POTS have had that instance or that circumstance where they go to the doctor's office or they go to the hospital. In the hospital, they go to a million doctor's appointments or whatever. They go to the hospital a bunch of times, and they're told every single time that it's anxiety. You are having anxiety, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's not as common anymore because POTS is like a more known thing after COVID. Sorry, I just lit a candle. But yeah, a lot of people are told that they have anxiety, and then they don't think that they have anxiety. They just think that it's POTS, and they've WebMD'd all their symptoms, and they know for certain that something is actually wrong with them. And today I want to talk about why the doctors are kind of right. And we're going to wait a little bit to see if somebody comes in first to really get after it with that. So give me 1 second. It says I have a chat, but it's not showing up. So we're going to do this again. We're going to go through this again, huh? We're going to go through all the torment of the live not working again, because it always loves to do that. I just got done with work, guys. I'm still at the gym, and I'm waiting to, not waiting. I'm going to go home right after this and do a cold plunge. It's like 35 degrees outside. Let's see. How cold is it? 41. Oh, it's drizzling out. No way. Well, if it's raining hard, I'm not going to cold plunge. It's not that important to me. All right, cool. So a lot of people have had that experience where they go to the hospital, they go to the doctor, and they get told that it's anxiety, and the doctors just kind of brush them off. And I am here to say that the doctors are kind of right, and you are also kind of right. So, look, I think that when you have POTS, it's really important to acknowledge the fact that some of it is anxious in nature, right? Or anxiety in nature. I think that it's really important to acknowledge that there is an anxious component to POTS, and that it's not just that you have something wrong with you, and it's not just that it's anxiety, but it's a co-op of both, right? Like something, they both can be true. It can be true that you're having anxiety and it's exacerbating your POTS symptoms. It can also be true that you have POTS and it's exacerbating your anxiety symptoms. The place where people get in trouble is they don't want to acknowledge the fact that that anxiety could induce the symptoms to be worse, which is like, in my experience with working with a bunch of POTS clients, that's my experience, is that they have some sort of underlying anxieties, and they are having very, very real symptoms. They for sure have POTS, they're having real symptoms of it, but they're also having anxiety, which makes the symptoms worse. So because the symptoms are worse, they get more anxious about it, they ruminate about it, they think about it more, and that causes a downward spiral, an effect of their symptoms get more intensified because of the anxiety, and now they just can't get out of this thought loop about what's going on. So I think that's really, really important to understand that anxiety definitely does play its hand in this deck of cards, right? It definitely has something to do with it. So once you can acknowledge that and you can get out of the way what you might be anxious with, right? Or anxious about. For example, a lot of my clients have never passed out, but they have the fear of passing out because they've heard of people passing out. And they have the fear of passing out specifically in public places, and that's why they don't go to public places. They have the fear that other people will judge them or see, blah, blah. Once you can acknowledge that that's where the anxiety comes from, then you can come up with a plan of how to actually how to confront that fear and that anxiety and hopefully make it go away. But always, whenever I have POTS clients, I have quite a few POTS clients now, but whenever I start with them, whenever I talk to them about how we're going to fix this, that's always a portion of what I talk to them about, is acknowledging that there is an anxiety component of this. Science nerd, what is up, dude? Dude? I have POTS and have anxiety every evening around 9:30 p.m. Is it just like general anxiety? Do you just feel like or is it over your POTS stuff? What's the deal with that? I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry, guys. I have to answer this text message real quick. Okay. It's that. Yeah. Yeah, I can empathize with you there, dude. The one thing that I would say, though, is that it's really, really important to understand that, like, that's not going to happen. And nobody has ever died as an effect from POTS syndrome. Not even as a side effect from it, I don't think. Like from passing out and falling and hitting their head or anything like that. I don't think I've ever heard of that. So it's not to say that your fear isn't real, because it's definitely a real feeling and you need to acknowledge that. But like, you need to put it into perspective that, that's not going to happen. Do you have bad POTS, like bad? Or is it pretty mild, pretty manageable? So it's probably a side effect of that, huh? How old are you? Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. I would definitely try to figure out how to get yourself on an exercise routine to try to manage it, because exercise, in my experience with my clients, and diet seem to be very, very key players in this game. Jeez. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're starting physical therapy. That's good. It's probably the right way to go, especially if you had the cardiac thing going on. It's probably the best way to go, honestly. Wow, built your own house and then came with lupus? Jeez. Sorry, that's really difficult. That's tough. That is tough. I'm really sorry to hear that. But check this out. Get to PT, do the work, get better, and you'll get back to normal life. It can happen. It does happen. It happens all the time. I appreciate you sharing that, and definitely if you feel like you could use some support, feel free to reach out to me. Hey, I appreciate you watching the videos and saying that. Yeah, it's I think it's important for people with POTS to understand that, like, they're just not gonna die. Because so often the symptoms can make you feel like make you feel like something bad, really bad is gonna happen. But I think it's mostly the anxiety of feeling like something really bad is gonna happen, like that overwhelming, like, holy crap feeling. But being able to put it into perspective, like, yeah, nothing is like seriously wrong because of POTS. I don't know your exact issue with the cardiac stuff, but yeah, nothing is seriously wrong because of POTS. The other stuff, maybe, but yeah. Hmm. Well, that's really good news then, because POTS is actually pretty simple to deal with. Diet, sodium, water, exercise. Those are the things that you need to focus on for sure. And doing exercise in a progressive manner, which I think is something that a lot of people are missing. The CHOPS protocol and the other one, I forget what it's called. I don't really mess with those too much. I don't think that they're all that great. But hey, what do I know? You know? So if your PT tries to get you on those, just know that it's a little bit slower of a recovery, in my opinion. A lot of people don't know how to deal with POTS. I don't know, obviously I don't know your PT, but I work with, I don't know, upwards of 20 POTS clients now. And a lot of them have had poor experiences with PTs. And I'd say like 2 or 3 of them have had just fine experiences with PTs. The problem that I see mostly with PTs is not that they don't necessarily know. PTs aren't exercise scientists; they're PTs, right? So like they're really, really good at understanding like how to deal with injury and stuff like that. But this isn't an injury, it's a autonomic nervous system dysfunction. So the other thing that, some PTs do have proper training in exercise physiology and like how to create progressive protocols for exercise and stuff like that. But the problem is that most of them go off of what's called the CHOPS protocol or the Levine protocol, and then they put everybody on it. So they're not really doing much. They're just having you follow a template that they're following because that's the best that they have to deal with. However, the problem that I have with the CHOPS and the Levine protocol is that it's not like individualized. It's a one catch all for everybody. It's not personalized for you, for science nerd. It's not personalized for science nerd. It's not personalized for Justin. It's not personalized for Katie or Eric, whoever. It just is how it is. And the problem with that is that if it's not personalized, your heart rate, because it goes off of heart rate zones and RPE, right? But like one workout could look like, depending on what your POTS symptoms are, one workout could be more difficult for one person than it is another person. The reason why that's important to understand is because if it's difficult for one person as opposed to the other, but it's supposed to work in a certain zone, it's not going to work for one of those people, even though it's supposed to be in a zone, right? So like I go with this example whenever I talk about the CHOPS protocol is that they try to do like zone 2 cardio. And I have my POTS clients do zone 2 cardio as well. But the issue is that sometimes zone 2 cardio, depending on how deconditioned the person is, you have 2 people, they both have to do the same workout, but one person, that zone 2 cardio may not feel very aerobic in nature to them. It feels more anaerobic because they are that deconditioned compared to this person. So this person actually might be able to tolerate something that's a little bit higher in volume or higher in intensity, and this person might not be able to handle any of that volume or intensity at all. They might actually need to back off even more. CHOPS and Levine do not take that into consideration. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that, if you care. Yeah, you sound pretty deconditioned then. That sounds like a deconditioning issue, and that's really not a huge problem. At least a problem to solve. Huge problem to solve. That's a pretty easy one. I guess it kind of depends on what you mean by what method I see as better. What do you mean by that? Like, do I think that going to a PT or working with a coach is better? Like if you can find a PT that can do a personalized program and it's not going to have you do chops or Levine, I think that that's a great way to go about it because because insurance will likely cover it. But I mean, I'm biased, right? I am a coach. I'm an online coach. I help people, and I'm very good at what I do. I help people with POTS, and I'm very good at it. So, like, of course, I'm going to be a little bit more biased towards like what I think you should do. But if I was you, I'd weigh out the pros and cons of both. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to put this. Because like I don't want to make it seem like I think that I am the best option for you to work with or that another coach is the best option for you to work with. I always think personal programs are the best. If your PT is able to write you a personalized program, it's not the CHOPS or Levine protocol, then awesome. The only issue that I have with PT is that you see them once. There's not much accountability with it. You're not paying for accountability, so it doesn't really like. There's nothing that makes you do it, right? There's nothing that like makes you do it besides your will and your want to get better. However, willpower is not enough for most people. Like most people don't have enough willpower to do things on their own. With me or with other coaches, you have weekly check-ins, text, text contact, stuff like that. You have like for me, my situation, you have an app and I get to see if you really fucking did your workout or not. I'm asking for data every week and you need to give me the data or like I'll fire you as a client. Because I want to work with people that want to get better and that are serious about getting better. PT, I think is a great option if they can make everything personalized, if they hold you accountable. For sure that not having to check in with a PT every week is fine because you can hold yourself accountable and do it all yourself. And if they're emotionally supportive, if they're motivational and stuff like that, they help motivate you and things of that nature. And if fucking insurance can pay for it, awesome. But yeah, I am more biased towards like my way, obviously. Like I said, I'm good at what I do. I plug people in. I ask for all the data. I hold people accountable. I don't baby you. I will never baby you. Things of that nature. Yeah. If that's what you're asking, that's my answer. Which, by the way, I wouldn't even know if we would be a good fit, you and I. So don't take this as I'm trying to sell you or anything like that, because I really don't know. Piers Morgan did another interview with Andrew Tate. It's already at 1 million views 5 hours ago. Wow. That's wild. Ever since you said that about not dying, I've really been pushing it more, and I've doubled that and even tripled. That's awesome, dude. I'm happy for you. That's great news. It's amazing. It's really good. It's some of this POTS recovery stuff is really it's about pushing mental barriers. It's not just about like the actual physical manifestation of things, right? It's like there's actually like a mental barrier that needs to be pushed past. And not acknowledging that too is like really bad, because I think so many POTS clients or so many POTS patients, people get in their head about like, this is just how things are, and this is how it's going to be. And I'm stuck. Like they play the victim card, right? And it's just, the victim thing is so hard for me. I grew up like really, I had a childhood that was like rough and stuff. And, I've gone through a lot in life. And so the victim thing never really like, has stuck with me. However, I have definitely had my victim moments, and that was definitely one of my problems in the beginning. But if you haven't watched one of my videos where I talk about getting diagnosed and stuff, it came to a point where at one point I was just like, I was on a treadmill. I had run out of the gym 1 million times because I was trying to recondition myself based off of just like stuff that I know about exercise science and all that. And I had run out of the gym like 1 million times, calling people, like looking like a crazy person, like, I think I need the ambulance, blah blah. And I finally just came to a point where I told myself, you're either going to finish this workout or you're going to die trying. And I really meant that. And I went on the treadmill and I'm still here. So a part of this is definitely just a mental game, right? And acknowledging that and trying to work on your mental game is the best way to go about it. I keep saying out loud to myself that I'm not going to die. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I love that. I love that. You have to be confident about it. You have to speak it into existence, man. But alongside of that, you have to do the work too. So don't just like expect yourself to get better or feel better because you're standing up longer and stuff. And I'm really proud for you for being able to do that, and for telling yourself that you're not going to die. Don't just expect that you're going to get better by doing that, right? Whether it's working with a coach or a PT, do the work. Put in the work, put in the hours, put in the time. Make sure that you're taking a look at your diet. How much water are you drinking per day? How much sodium are you taking in per day? All that stuff has compounding effects, and you can feel a lot better, a lot faster, the more detail you pay attention to. And that's the type of stuff that PTs actually probably won't be able to help you with, is like the sodium equation. How much sodium do you need to have versus, and how much, liquid you should be drinking, and how much you should be supplementing sodium before or after exercise or during exercise, or carbohydrate timing and stuff like that. Like really diving deep into the nutrition side of like what foods flare you up. How do you tell what foods flare you up? Things of that nature. So I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy that I could be of some service to you somehow. Even if it's just you watching my videos and being motivated by the video. That's dope. I love that. We got some other viewers in here, I see. Ask some questions. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm tired today. I had a full freaking day. This morning, I got up 7, something like that. 8. I ate is what I mean, not like 8 a.m. I ate. I came to the gym. I had fucking calls all morning. 4 hours straight of client calls. I love my clients. I absolutely love my clients. But I also host a podcast. And so I have a podcast. I have an online client business, online training rather. And I also own a gym. And I'm a dad. And I create content for other companies and stuff too. And so my days are packed, and sometimes I just get fucking wrecked. Plus, I'm trying to still be an athlete, full-time-ish athlete. Rena, is it you, Rena? Rena Peterson. Would love to hear how long it took for exercise to improve your orthostatic symptoms after about 45 minutes. Headedness and disorientation kicks in. It's super frustrating. Okay. I don't want to give you how long it took for me because I think it's subjective. And for me, I didn't have all the data collected that I now have, or all the knowledge that I have now. So I don't want to give you a timeline on myself. I don't like giving people timelines on myself and how long it took for me to improve, because I was the person just trying to figure it out on their own. I got diagnosed at a time where POTS was really fringe and there wasn't a lot. There was like nothing on it. There was like 2 clinical studies on POTS syndrome at the time or something. 2 might be exaggerating, like super low, but there wasn't much. And most of the data was done on like high school aged girls. So for me, I was experimenting, and I was just basing my reconditioning based off of what I learned about deconditioning in school, and based on what I had read about deconditioning with POTS syndrome. And so I did something that made sense to me. I took into account, like, when I do certain types of zone 2 cardio, it doesn't feel the same as other types of zone 2 cardio, stuff like that. And I took into consideration a whole bunch of stuff, like the different elimination diets that I've done, and could diet have something to do with this? Because I'm one of those people that believes that health starts in the gut. So like, is something going on with my gut? I took a complete intervention for me. So how long it took for exercise to improve my orthostatic symptoms, I don't know, because I had to experiment for a while. But I'll tell you, I finally figured out after weeks what was working. And after a few weeks, when I like put together the right protocol, I would say the orthostatic stuff, like 3 weeks. I have one client. This will be a good one. I could maybe connect you with him somehow. I have one client who his orthostatic symptoms were so bad that he would have to sit down to shower. He might be watching this right now. If you're watching this, put a W in the chat. His symptoms were so bad that he'd have to sit down to shower. He'd have to like sit down in his bed before he got up, make sure that he could get enough strength and get himself to the bathroom, get in the bathroom, sit down, bathe himself like that. And within, I think it was like 2 weeks, the way that I took the approach with him, he was able to stand up and shower. And now, not now, all of my clients, for the most part, are back to working, which is amazing. They're back to doing completely normal jobs. A lot of my clients actually are like nurses and people who are on their feet all day, even trainers. mostly people who are on their feet all day, which is like crazy. So I would say for most of those clients, for most of the clients that I work with, it takes between 3 and 8 weeks for their symptoms to like almost completely subside just in general. Science nerd. I totally get that. I had to learn how to function with lupus. I will learn how to function with this. I think I'm going to go back and watch all your videos. Yeah, man, go ahead, watch all my videos. And if you need any support, let me know. Send me an email at jqfit1@gmail.com, and maybe we can figure something out for coaching or something if you feel like you need more support. Rena, you already have my information, dude. You already have my information. I think it's time to make that leap. Put your trust in Justin. I hope also, Rena, that answered your question or gave you a little bit of insight. Orthostatic symptoms, I take a funny approach to. I think luckily not stuck doing that anymore, but still struggle going to the grocery store outings, being on my feet. If I could get... yeah, that's all stuff that I have little tips and tricks for. Next time you go outside and you want to go for a walk for a long time, I'm going to give you one of my tricks. Give you guys one of my tricks. Wear sunglasses. Just try it. Wear sunglasses. Wear sunglasses and come back to my channel and comment whether it helped you or not. Starting new jobs, so finally getting some income. Good. I'm happy for you. That's awesome. Good stuff. That's really good. What are you doing now for work? Is it nursing? I feel like that's what I remember us talking about, that you were a nurse. I could be totally wrong, though. I've had like 10 client consults. Home health nursing. What is that? Science nerd. No, if you're walking outdoors. Next time you go for a walk outdoors, try wearing sunglasses. And just come back and tell me if it works. Okay. What is home health nursing? Is that like hospice? Science nerd, do you have Instagram or anything? Do you have any social media platforms? You're on YouTube, so just Facebook. Got it. Cool. Nice. Facebook and YouTube. That's good. That's good. That's good. Home health consists of going into homes and doing wound care, medication management, patient education. Patient needs. Nice. That's sweet. That's cool. Sounds like a good job. Sounds like fun. Sounds like it could be stressful. I hope you like it at least so far. Science nerd, you got to get on Instagram. My own pace and schedule when I would like to, so it works. The goal is to get to a spot where I can do 312s. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, that's a good goal. That's a good goal. What I would say is that it's easy to put it off. Tomorrow always sounds good. Now is always the right time. I think a lot of people get scared about making financial investments in their self and their health because they don't know if it will work, and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, you give me a month, you're going to feel better. You're going to get yourself within 4 to 8 weeks, I bet. I'd be willing to bet. Get yourself to a point where you can get back to the hospital. I'd be willing to bet on it. So, choice is yours. Choice is yours. But I'm very, very confident in what I do. Very confident. I just had a dude, by the way, that was in that same spot where he was like, I think I'm going to wait or whatever. And I kind of bullied him into coming and training with me because he was having a real time with POTS, like bad. And so I kind of bullied him into working with me. And then he started 2 weeks in. He's like, I'm glad that I did this. So. By the way, I just saw this meme on Facebook. You guys gotta see this. Oh man, you can't see it. It says, my kids really just called me out of bed to tell me the milk's gone bad. And they drew faces on the milk that made them look like bad guys and put bandanas on it and gave them squirt guns. That's crazy. That's literally my kids. That is my kids. They would do some weird shit like that. That's funny. All right, guys. Well, I am hopping off and Science nerd, you just have to contact me. Just talk to me. It's not necessarily like like I said, I do the programming for each person individually. So it's not like an app where you can just log in and pay to be a part of it or whatever. Like, we go through a consultation. I have a phone call with you. And through that consultation, we talk about how I can actually manage to help you. If I even feel like I can help you, that type of thing. More than likely, I'll probably feel like I can help you. But I have turned people down before. But if I feel like I can help you, then, I'll tell you kind of how the process goes. And then we just start training ASAP. We get to it right away. So, yeah, you just have to contact me. Like I said, again, my email is jqfit1@gmail.com. Just put it in the chat for you right there. I do charge a consultation fee, but if you pay the fee for the consultation, you decide that you want to sign up, it goes towards your first month with me. As long as you sign up within a week your consultation fee goes alongside of that. So it just deducts off the price. Hey, I appreciate the kind words, Rena. I do. But I'm going to tell you this. What's 1 month? What's 1 month? What's 1 month of waiting? It's just another month, you know. It's just another month that... What? Okay, so here, let me get your guys' honest opinion about this, okay? And Rena, I promise you, I'm not trying to bully you into like training with me or anything like that. When I look at goals, okay, when I look at like, or if I want to get better with something, okay, how was I going to say this? How do I say this rather? It's like waiting is prolonging the process of something maybe going wrong again, right? So like I had a client, this is a perfect example actually. I had a client who is now with me, and he said, this is crazy. I have an example for like almost, I've worked with so many people that I have an example for a lot of things now. I have a client who said the same, like some of the same stuff, right? Like I'm just going to wait like a month or wait 2 months or whatever it was, because he was working with a different coach, but he was working with like a bodybuilding coach. Eventually he came back to me and is like, you know, I just keep crashing. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, like, just give me a month, you know, give me 1 month, right? And I'm like, the problem is if you're prolonging the process, right, you might find yourself in a better spot. That's possible. Or you may find yourself in a worse spot. So which one would you rather be in? Well, the better spot. Okay, let's start tomorrow. You know, I mean, it was that simple with him. Like, let's start tomorrow, you know, because I'm just like, I don't want people. So Rena, I'm just saying this because I genuinely care, because this is like what part of what I feel like a calling of mine is now, is to help people with POTS. I genuinely care, and I don't want like, I've seen people say the next month and then they're worse the next month. And I don't want to scare you. I don't think that will happen to you, because you're probably not doing bodybuilding training. You're probably not doing, you know, still taking pre-workouts or like drinking or anything like that. But yeah, I always like to see people, because there's a reason why you reach out, right? And it's because you're not comfortable in the spot that you're in. So if you're not comfortable in the spot that you're in, I don't think there's much sense in like prolonging it. Like, let's just get it figured out. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it could end up like that guy. And he is with me still to this day. And I fucking love that guy. But anyway, again, I'm not trying to bully you or anything. Science nerd, definitely be in touch. Yeah, shoot me an email whenever you can, and we'll get it figured out. Yeah, but again, I mean, if you have a PT that you're going to work with or whatever, I think that that's a great resource to have too. And if you feel like they're going to be able to help you, definitely work with them. If they can do something, if you can get it paid for by insurance, baby, and you can get it, you know, get it as a personalized program, that's definitely great too. So. I hope all this stuff that I've been saying makes sense. I am like so tired from today that I feel like my brain is all jumbled around. So let me know if the stuff that I've been saying makes sense. But yeah, basically talking for a living is really, really hard. And I use like up all of my thinking power in the beginning of the day, because I had 4 hours back to back to back. That's 8 clients back to back to back to back of, you know, Skype call. And then on top of that, I had clients in real life. And on top of that, I had editing for the content that I do, which is all talking. So it's tough. Huh. I got you, science nerd. That's pretty good. But I'm sure what they're going to do is you're going to use your insurance money towards this, and they're going to put you on a CHOPS protocol. and that's fucking bullshit, dude. I'm sorry. Just have to say that. That is fucking bullshit, right? Like when you pay for a cookie cutter fucking program and you want it to work for you, and then like, especially if you have to use like insurance money, right? Like you could be using that, like that could go towards something else. It's just fucking bullshit. So I would just ask them, are you going to put me on Chops? Are you going to put me on Levine? Or is it going to be more personalized? Because if it's the other way, I have a terrible outlook of the medical system. I was just talking about this with a client literally an hour and a half ago. I have a terrible outlook on that. I fucking can't stand them. Not PTs. I just can't stand how the system is. I agree with you. It's prolonging the process. Going to take a few days to evaluate. I'll get back to you. Rena, I got you, dude. I'm going to shoot you a message tonight. Just cause. I'm going to shoot you a message tonight and see what we can do. I genuinely think that you'll benefit from it. I don't want the process for you to be prolonged anymore. I think that you should just take care of this. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least you can say that you tried, right? Science nerd. Good. Yeah. Take action, dude. Ask. Definitely make that ask. Don't let them lie to you either. Hey, you can look up the CHOPS protocol and the Levine protocol for the free on the internet. So look it up, print it out, ask them what they're going to do, and see if it looks similar or if it's the exact same script. And if you would work with me too, I would tell you the same thing. Print out the CHOPS protocol, the Levine protocol, look at that program and compare it to what I'm going to give you on the app and see what happens, right? Just see what happens. Yeah, it's a good idea. Always, I think in the world that we live in the systems that we live in, you need to be your own advocate. You need to be the best advocate for yourself. Always advocate for your health because nobody else is going to do it for you. Unfortunately, the system is just not wired like that. And a lot of PTs, a lot of nurses, a lot of doctors are fucking burnt out, man. And I don't blame them. But they can't advocate for you when they're trying to just fucking make it through the day, right? Like, I don't think that nurses and doctors have ill intention whatsoever, but I think that they are just worked to the fucking bone. So, yeah. You thinking 6 weeks would be just a start? Just, what do you mean? Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. I mean, you would need to do something, right? Like, all of my clients that I work with, they all have like maintenance protocols after they like get to a point where we think that they're better. So, I mean, I'll give you guys a tidbit, like a little insight to how I kind of do things, right? I train people and I get their cardio capacity high and their aerobic capacity high, like, enough so that like they're not feeling like they're going to pass out and shit, and like that they're not super breathless anymore. They can do normal daily activity stuff. And then they go on a maintenance cardio type of program. There's always some sort of resistance training within it, whether it's calisthenics or it depends on where the person's at. Like, are they weak? Are they shaky? Like, what are the symptoms? Stuff like that. What kind of stuff can they handle? What kind of load can they handle? So there's always some sort of resistance training, whether it's calisthenics or actual weight bearing stuff. But then later on, once you get to a point where like, okay, life is feeling like normal kind of, then I'm like, all right, we are going to put you on maintenance level cardio. And that may look higher than what old maintenance level looked like for you when you weren't sick or when you didn't have a chronic illness. And then we move more into resistance training, because I think aside from hydration, the resistance training portion of this is the other secret. That's what I think. But yeah, what do I know? I'm liking saying that tonight. What do I know? Building muscle and resistance training, there's lots and lots of literature to show that it is one of the key components to longevity. So Zach Reckner is in the chat. Who is that? Sounds like a freaking bozo, dude. What a nerd too, right? He's got like a baseball thing for his like, let's flame this guy, chat. Flame him. Ugh, bozo. Who says I'm sick AF, dude? What, do you have COVID? Gross. It's not very nice for somebody I don't know to say. It's 4:30 somewhere. Is it raining outside, Zach Reckner? Okay, guys. It's 9:03. I've hit my limit. I've hit my cap. I need to go home, eat some Kodiak cupcakes, and go the frick to bed. Kodiak muffins. Thanks so much for watching this. Science Nerd, be in touch. Try to contact me within the next couple days. Rena, hit me up, dude. Actually, I'm going to send you a message after this, and let's try to figure something out. I don't have many spots left. I'm just being honest. I don't have many online training spots left. I think let me actually look. I can check this out right now. I can accept 4 more people, and I had 3 client consultation calls this morning. I can accept 4 more people into this system that I use before I have to charge more, unfortunately. So yeah, so spots are limited. Get them while you can. 4 more people. Thank you guys for watching. Science Nerd, be in touch. I put my email in this chat somewhere. Hopefully you wrote it down. Hit me with an email. Rena, I'll be reaching out to you. Zach Reckner, it sounds like something's wrong with your Reckner. And yeah, we'll talk in another video. Thanks so much for watching this live. I appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you in the next one.